Oh, hello. Welcome to Volume 2, a volunteer-run bookstore and community event space on State Street here in New Haven, Connecticut. You might also know us as Neverending Books. That was the name of the space for about 30 years when it was run by its initial group of volunteers. Then, sometime during the pandemic, a group of people, including myself, decided to take up the mantle from them and keep running it our own way. Now we're open most weeknights, weekends, and more, with free hours to browse books, attend or host events, any number of things that are so much fun. This side is our bookstore. We've got all kinds of books to browse and take completely for free. They're organized loosely by genre by our crack shelving team. Here we've got classics, memoirs and biographies, history, cookbooks, science fiction and fantasy, everything you can imagine. But if you're looking for a particular title, we probably won't have it. But if you're willing to browse a little bit, you're sure to find something you didn't even know you wanted. Oh. Andy Rooney, my favorite. This side is our event space, where we have music, poetry, classes, workshops, meetings, and all kinds of other gatherings. If there's something you'd like to host and you need a room, please let us know by contacting us through the email address at the bottom of your screen. The New Haven Improv Collective recently held a workshop in the space. Here's a little bit of it. Aside from improvised music, Volume 2 is also one of New Haven's preeminent noise venues. Here's Connor to teach us a little bit more about noise.
What noise is that, any sound that you make could be considered music or noise. Sound that is done intentionally is generally considered music, but there are a lot of standard practices involved in music that people tend to go with notes and other conventions of music, and if you go outside of those, then it tends to just be kind of called noise, for lack of a better term. It's intentional sound that doesn't adhere to normal standard musical practice. And basically the idea with this is that they have inputs and outputs, and they have multiple inputs and multiple outputs. And so if you plug some of the outputs into the inputs, then you have created a feedback loop, which there are inconsistencies within the machine that make it so that there's a little bit of noise, and then they feedback, which creates a noise, and then there are all these little knobs that can then change the way that the noise sounds. so much fun. It's exploratory. You get to, like, I think there are probably people who know more about how all this stuff works than I do, but I prefer to only learn as much as I have, because it's fun to turn the knob and see what happens, and be surprised by what happens. It's exciting. It's like, going in the woods and rolling over a log and seeing what's living underneath it. And it's kind of the whole fun of it is kind of seeing everyone comes up with their own special little rig, their own special little setup, and kind of the fun of it is every time you can do a different setup and see what happens to it.
Thank you, Connor. Now that we know a little bit more about noise, let's watch some of a recent performance by Fifax House. Amazing stuff! But this space isn't just for performances. A lot of groups also have meetings here as well. Here's Dean from Album Club with some winter album recommendations.
Album Club's on hiatus, but here are 5 albums that to me resemble winter time in New England. First album worthy of talking about would be The Supremes' I Hear a Symphony. It's a really dainty, sophisticated, like New Year's ball, I think, kind of ambiance to the whole thing. Orchestras all around, a real frog-coated voice, obviously from Diana Ross, and just like a warm cup of tea of an album. Another winter highlight for me is Sonic Youth's 30 from 1992. I hear the winter in this album. I hear just violent gusts of wind, sledding through snowy slush, the black slush on the streets, the crackling and popping of your bones as you're trying to stay warm. It feels like a very industrially, steely kind of coldness to the whole thing. I think it's really good for winter time. To me, a perfect winter New England album, especially the less romanticized version of it, is Nicole Dollanganger's Married in Mount Airy. I think a real gothic, dark, moody, breezy, but also really, really tender and warm. These are like lullabies that I think are perfect for like sleeping with like a bleak, deserted, post-industrial Milltown background, which reminds me a lot of like around places where I grew up around Connecticut. FKA Twigs' Capri Songs was released around the same time that I moved to Worcester Square, and it is mainly about a coming of age in like a colder environment, and so to me it's really associated with settling into my first few winters here in the city. Kendrick Lamar's Damn is also, I think, to me, quite the winter album. It made a big impact on me last winter. I listened to it pretty much the entire season. I think it's a really good kind of politically charged reflection invitation. I think it's a perfect time to be thinking about a lot of the concepts from that album during really hibernating periods like winter time. I don't know, I think it's a really good inspiration to be a better person in the aftermath of a really harsh season.
Seems like I point the finger just to make a point nowadays. Smiles and
so those to me are 5 albums that make a lot of sense in the winter in Connecticut, and maybe once Album Club returns back to its heyday, we might be covering one of them in the future.
You might not find any of those albums, but Volume 2 does have a modest selection of vinyl records. If you're a fan of Fred Waring and the Pennsylvanians, the Dr. Zhivago soundtrack, or my favorite, The Hurdy-Gurdy Man, we're the spot for you. We also have a small selection of other media, including CDs, DVDs, tapes, and zines. Many of our friends make zines, and they're available here in our zine rack. Let's take a deeper dive into one now.
Hi y'all, I'm Alice Prale, and this is my zine, Grass, the third in the My Mother Made Me Call This Fiction series, a series of zine comics, stories that are probably true. And this series is all about grass. The sweet smell of lawn maintenance. Okay, go slow. Nothing is happening. I told them. What? She's tall enough, but she's not heavy enough. Riding lawnmowers have a weight sensor as a safety feature in case the rider is thrown off. She's tall enough to reach the pedals, but she's too small, so the seat doesn't recognize her. I don't understand why she wants to. Riding lawnmowers are cool, I guess, but it's still a chore. I don't like mowing, but I do like the smell of fresh cut grass. Late night smoke break. I won't mow. Fine, we can get a place with a lawn, but I am never going to mow. Ha! Yeah, I didn't think you would mow. Well, laugh all you want, but I stand by my moral opposition to lawns. I know that we've got to maintain functional spaces, invasive species crowd out local biodiversity, tree limbs threaten houses, and roots break up walkways. So I understand the need for a managed relationship with our natural surroundings. But I cannot abide high maintenance, monoculture, water wasting, shallow-rooted goddamn lawns. We could have forests, food, and flowers. Instead, we have ugly, boring, earth-killing lawns. And to be clear, my problem is not with grass. I love grass. Grass and lawns are not the same. My problem is with lawns specifically. Homeowners Association regulated height rooted in colonialism and white supremacy, never-ending golf green, suburban dads' pride and joy, goddamn Kentucky bluegrass lawns. Hey, wait up. Sorry, I thought you'd be yelling at grass a while longer. To your earlier point, yes, I will do 100% of the lawn maintenance. And eventually we'll start a real garden? Except I can't keep plants alive. You're in charge, but I will totally help. Sure. Thanks for joining us for this zine walkthrough. This is me, Alice Prale. Thanks.
Thank you, Alice. Telling stories is a human tradition dating back as long as people have gathered around campfires. New Haven has its share of stories as well. One fella who's seen quite a lot of them is Jeff. Here's Jeff now.
And there was a policeman or security guard at the back door of the Coliseum, the New Haven Arena, excuse me, that's what it was called. And they played hockey there. And this cop or security guard or whoever he was, an old, typical fat, old, gray-haired, retired guy, he said, "Hey, what the hell, I'm not gonna let your old kids in." And, we got in, and we got in the back door, and it was in their dressing room, the locker room. And we were like, okay, now where do we go? And so we just went through all these hallways and this and that. We found that our way up to where the concert, I guess we must have been following the sound, and we found ourselves on the stage with Frank Zappa. But it was dark, and there was a curtain that, the audience couldn't see us there, and we were just like, we just stood there like not making a sound and not trying to move around too much so that Mr. Zappa wouldn't notice us, because I'm sure, given his reputation, if he did notice us, he would have said something to us or done something to us. And we probably would not have liked it. So we just shut our mouths, watched the show, and it was possibly the best seat in any concert I ever had. And we got the hell off the stage as soon as we could afterwards.
Wow! Those must have been some times. But while that arena is no longer there, New Haven does still have an arena for the sharing of ideas and healthy debate. It's the comments section of the New Haven Independent website. Here to talk about some of the regular commenters are two anonymous readers.
She doesn't just comment briefly, like, oh, here's what I think. She's got like an essay for every single article. And it's the amount of time and effort that she must put into curating her stance on every single thing that happens in this city is unsurpassed, I think.
She has very like boomer mom conciliatory vibes.
But she's in the game, she plays it as hard as she can, and hats off to her.
Hats off to Heather.
Heather C.
Heather C, we see you.
And he seems to genuinely hate the city of New Haven. Like, he just doesn't like being here. He doesn't like anything about it. But rather than move, he just broadcasts his discontent as broadly as possible.
He's just dug in.
I think he's never closed a browser tab in his life.
58,386
And
tabs.
he says, I got just the article for that. And then he spends 45 minutes clicking, no.
I think Union Yes is unique in this list because they're the only one who could, I feel, genuinely be replicated by AI. I'm not convinced that's a person.
I've got nothing snarky to say about Kevin McCarthy. He does good work.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin, for being the voice of reason so often.
Oh, City Yankee is my
Yankee
most treasured, hate follow. City Yankee 2 is just immediately on every single article with just the most nonsensical, contrarian take. There was this article the other day. It was like, oh, a new ice cream shop has opened, and you can always count on City Yankee to just show up and be like, sure hope there's no sugar in that ice cream. Just relax.
Yeah, just real killjoy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what a lot of people like about the New Haven Independent is that the comment section is sort of a step above your average local news. But the exception to that is City Yankee 2, who is just copy pasted from Facebook comments on the Daily Patriot or whatever.
Great stuff. Thank you, New Haven Independent, for the years of diligent journalism. And thank you, New Haven Independent commenters, for reminding us all why most people should never be anywhere near the levers of power. We'll be right back.
Neverending Book Collective. Neverending Book Collective. Neverending Book Collective. Donate your books today. Neverending Book Collective. Neverending Book Collective. Neverending Book Collective. Donate your kids today. All right.
Our friends and neighbors at the Bradley Street Bicycle Co-op want to share some bike safety tips with us. Let's take a look.
This is a friendly PSA from your pals at BSBC. That's the Bradley Street Bicycle Co-op. Hi, we're the friendly friends from the Bradley Street Bicycle Co-op, and we're here to give you some tips on riding a bike. First, put on your helmets. And don't forget to tighten them in the back. Oh yeah. Great! Now get on your bike, assume the position, and start riding! Pedal, 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 pedal. Watch out for that rock! Whew, okay, now that's over, let's go.
Left.
And now let's go.
Right.
Hey, is that your... Oh, watch out for the other rock. Sorry. Okay. Is that your friend over there? Wave to them. Is that a cute dog over there? Wave to it. Yay! Uh-oh, another rock. An even bigger rock. An even bigger. Just kidding. That's it for today. Arrive at your destination. Feel contented about your accomplishment. Wave at the invisible public. And don't forget to ring your bell.
Thank you, Bradley Street. If you want a bike, you go to the Bicycle Co-op. If you want a book, you come to Volume 2, where all the books are free.
But I feel bad taking this for free.
Well, we do accept donations. You can leave cash in this box or use the QR codes on top to donate via PayPal or Venmo.
Oh, could I also donate my used books?
Of course, We accept donations of used and unwanted books all the time, but we're not looking for any textbooks or encyclopedias.
All right, sounds good. I'll be back.
Free books, huh? Yeah, well, what's free about $1? Mind you, I don't blame the dollar droppers. It's hard to take something for free without that feeling of capitalist guilt that everything comes with a price, or that push of pride that you don't take charity, you don't need charity. No, I blame the proprietors of this place, wishy-washy hipster donkeys trying to passive-aggressively guilt people into funding their little clubhouse for weirdos. It's not free, it's tacky. And believe me, I know tacky. I once spent a decade on the floor of a specialty movie theater. But now I'm stuck in here and have been for some time. They don't take change like me, only the bills, the real money. But I suppose it could be worse. I could be living the transient lifestyle passed from hand to hand, end up in some little lady's pocketbook used for exact change when she buys her denture cleanser, or drop into a little puke's piggy bank while he saves up for Pokemon cards. Yeah, this isn't so bad. And besides, I don't think this place is gonna stick around too much longer between you and me. Not too long before this place gets torn down and the froyo shop goes up. Or, I don't know, are froyo shops still coming up all over the place? That's the last I remember. Anyway, I'm gonna get some shut-eye. You enjoy.
Well, we've had quite a day. We heard some improvised music, learned about noise, judged others, read a zine, got some bike safety tips, and had a whole lot of fun along the way. But now I'm afraid it's time to say goodbye. Here to take us out, it's our fine friends at FIM. Good night.